All right, so brother, if you're somebody that struggles to be disciplined in life, this video is for you because when you struggle to have discipline, you struggle to have like a sense of achievement. And I have spoken to way too many guys, right, that are struggling with discipline. They start something and then they fail in about a week, a month. Some people fail in a year. And I can tell you for a fact that it boils down to just two things. And if you can fix these two things in your life, trust me, discipline would actually become easier though. So let's talk about why you lack discipline or why discipline is hard for you. But let me give you a story of how my discipline started, right? So throughout my high school, I was bullied. I was bullied for years, right? My school was kind of fucked up though because I was bullied at some point. I became a bully, but most of my high school I was bullied by my mates and by my seniors. So what happened was one day I just felt like during my holidays I felt like enough is enough. I have been heavily bullied, and I figured that I I don't want to be bullied anymore. So I was in deep pain, and I figured that the people who are most feared in this country are soldiers. The people who are most feared all over the world are soldiers. So I wanted to be a soldier, right? And so I did my research. I discovered that fine. I'm not sure. I was born in Nigeria, so I have to join the Nigerian army. I can't join the US army based on limited knowledge, though. So I began to make research on how I can join the Nigerian army. So there were two options: either go to the Nigerian Defense Academy and spend 5 years of your life there, or go to a normal university, right, and then spend 1 year to become a soldier. That 1 year option basically felt like the wise thing to do. So when I went into it, I did my research, and then yes, I went to college, right? So while I was in university, I was looking at the selection process for the Nigerian army, and there's a particular record time I had to beat. So what that means is, to me, I felt like I was training for it. So every single Sunday for 4 years, I jogged, right? I jogged every single Sunday for 4 years. And then what happened was, while I was jogging, I was envisioning myself this disciplined soldier, right? Again, I didn't make discipline a goal. What I did was, I just knew that if I can make that time for the Nigerian army selection, I knew that I would join the army. The only thing I was afraid of was that timing for jogging and for running, sorry. So later down the line, I discovered that other areas of my life were beginning to feel the impact of discipline, to the point where I met a friend that said, I live a very regimented life. I didn't know what it meant by then, but later I knew what regimented means. So what that means is two things were very important, right, for me to have that discipline, which I was not aware of consciously. One, a strong why, right? A strong motivation. And with a strong motivation, the deepest source of motivation for me there was that pain of me being bullied. The second thing here was a change of identity, a willingness to let go of my past self. But those two things that were very important. So let's first of all talk about the first one, the why. Most people don't have a strong reason to get disciplined. It's either they saw the concept through some very fancy edited video on social media, so they felt like, you know what, let me get disciplined. Some people they're operating with you wrong. You are probably operating with the wrong set of why. That's why you're not disciplined. You lack the motivation, and this is how you should do it. There are two kinds of motivation. There is I would say there's a negative motivation. This is where you're sort of avoiding pain, or you've been burned already. Now, this is a very good source of motivation. Don't let anybody lie to you. Another source of motivation is if your aspiration. This is where you're much more driven, should I say, by fancy ideas. A typical example is, oh, I just want to be rich. Because you want to be rich, you get discipline. So let's start with the fact that negative motivation, where you feel like you want to prove a point, or a girl broke your heart. Perfect. A girl broke your heart, and the new boy she's dating has 6 packs. He's rich. He's jacked. He's confident. Now you begin to see yourself as, you know what? Maybe if I can be like that guy, I will have either my ex back, or I'll make my ex regret leaving me. Before you know it, that motivation drives you to become disciplined. For others, that is like negative motivation. Then the aspirational motivation goes like this. You know what? I want to just make $10,000 per month, right? I think I'm tired of being broke. Which is still paying. No, sorry. I want to just make 10K per month. So you watch a lot of YouTube videos because 10K per month is the minimum wage. And before you know it, you're looking for ways to make this 10K per month. So that means is when you have a strong motivation, right? It becomes easier to be disciplined. Now, a problem with motivation is that some people are motivated by the wrong things. Some people, you probably have the wrong ideas in your head. A typical example of the wrong ideas in your head is you're born, go to school, get a degree, get married, build a family, then die. That is an idea that has been injected in most guys' heads. So there's really no motivation to live life if that's what you have in your head. Another thing now is that what you can do is sit down there and list things that you try to do in your childhood era, the childhood fantasies you try to achieve. And by the way, that's why I'm currently learning how to fight, and I vlog about my training every single day. It's interesting because it basically reminds me of my childhood fantasies. How much have I grown so far, right? So super interesting. You can check it out. Where was I? No, I'm not acting with the script. So yes, your childhood fantasies, right? Those things that you were really aspiring to when you were young. Because aspirational, this motivation comes from your childhood, your core essence, your authentic being. The pain driven is not really authentic. It's rarely authentic. But the one that's aspirational from your childhood, super authentic. Now, if you've gotten a strong motivation, what you need, what I've seen other guys who have motivation, but they are not willing to let go. There's a guy I was coaching, right? This guy had a strong motivation. He had a strong reason to get disciplined. But I realized that the reason he was not disciplined was because he was not willing to let go of his friends. So I was talking to him about his friends, and he says that these are his day ones. They be with him through thick and thin. And I kind of made him realize that there are two things, right? It's either your friends are trying to grow in their own lane, right? So that you guys are always pushing yourself, holding yourself accountable, or you will have to sacrifice your dreams for them. As we speak, this guy's dream is about to disappear because he's supposed to be. I really don't want to say that because when I see him, I feel sad because he's somebody who he knew what to do, but chose to hold on to his friends. Another example is maybe the environment you are is not conducive for the dream you are, but it's not conducive for the dream you're trying to achieve. So your friends, your ideas, your beliefs. If you're somebody who is strong-minded, who is stubborn, bro, you have to choose, right? You have to be willing to sacrifice everything if you're really disciplined. This is why I tell people that it starts with your why. If you don't know why you need to make those sacrifices, you're wasting your time. The question now is, are you willing to sacrifice all that pleasure? Some people are not willing to. Are you willing to sacrifice all those drugs, all those bad habits? Because those things have to go. One thing I knew I had to sacrifice was my anger issues. Because, bro, I used to get triggered easily, and I've done a shit ton of dumb stuff. I think I'll make a video of that later. But so, brother, you have to realize that if you're not willing to let go of those sacrifices, discipline can kick in. You might start today. It's a matter of time before your environment, before your escapades catch up with you. So again, have a strong why, right? A why that you as a person can back up, not what people put in your head. Then be willing to make the sacrifices. Be willing to change your identity. Get rid of your friends. Be willing to do things when nobody's looking at you. This is why I say, start doing things alone. I would even make a video on this because looking back at it, right, I kind of realized that while I was jogging every Sunday, I literally was inspiring a lot of people to start jogging. Bro, 100 level, I was inspiring guys in 300 and 400 level to start jogging. And I don't say that to brag, but the point is, I was always doing it alone, whether they came or not. And then that energy made people join me, obviously. Made people start jogging, and I'm happy for them, right? So I think guys should learn to do things alone. The irony is when you do things alone and you truly enjoy them, automatically you will always find your tribe. Something that I have realized and I've noticed for myself. So brother, those are the two major reasons. Know your why and ask yourself, are you really ready to change? That's why if I say guys who have no... Oh, why the fuck did I do that? That's why if I see guys that don't have any strong why, I kind of realize that it's not going to work. So brother, if you stayed this far, it's obvious that you found this video helpful. And I really wish that you find your strong why. If you feel like you want someone to help you find your strong why, you can reach out to me on any of my social media platforms because right now, no links are open out there but from my social media platforms. So reach out to me directly. So also, I would like you to share this video with somebody who lacks discipline because this video, I'm pretty sure, that's helped other guys to find their why and be willing to push them to let go of their current self, their current bad habits, their current friends that are keeping them back. Talk to you soon and bye for now, brother.